You're a whack job.
Senator,
You are
are
a
wasting.
Well, I think we are.
next
I
level
think we.
whack job.
I think we
Is
are.
this middle school, Senator?
Mr. Painter, do you think Senator Gillibrand is a crook?
No, and I do not think all politicians are crooks. And
why did you call her a crook?
I did not call her a crook. Now, Senator, you need to
here's
focus
what
on
I'm
this
looking
bill.
right now.
You're doing this again. You did it the last
published a
hearing.
tweet that
You
said
need to
Senator
read the
Gillibrand's
bill.
role in stablecoin regulation, $217,000 in crypto donations. You tweeted that.
Yes, I do.
And then you said, the crypto industry is buying Congress and the White House. This won't end well. Why do you think the crypto industry is buying Senator Gillibrand?
I said, look at the campaign contributions from this industry.
Do you think they bought her?
No, I said, look at the campaign
You
contributions.
said they bought her. Do you think they bought her?
Senator, you need to focus on this bill instead of trying to distort my Twitter.
You
Last
called
time,
one of my
you were
colleagues a
quoting
crook,
what a Marxist in Chicago said
and
about
what
me.
evidence do you
Make
have
no
that she's a
sense.
crook?
I said there is massive amount of campaign contributions coming into this Congress from the crypto industry.
Do you want to apologize
You
to Senator Gillibrand?
I do not want you to have to apologize for passing legislation
want to
that
apologize
destroys
to
our
Senator
economy.
Gillibrand for calling
you
her a
are
crook?
distorting what I said, just like you did in the last hearing. You're wasting everybody's time, Senator.
Patriots, you are not going to believe the circus act I just watched in our own Senate. It was supposed to be a serious discussion on digital assets, cryptocurrency, decentralized finance, the future of money and freedom. But instead, it turned into a showdown between common sense and corruption, between truth and Twitter tantrums, and once again, Senator John Kennedy was the only one in that room brave enough to speak the truth out loud. This was a hearing that proved exactly why we don't trust the political class to regulate our freedom, our technology, or our future. Let's break it down together, because this isn't just about Bitcoin or Ethereum. This is about who controls the next generation of the internet, and whether we the people get a say, or if the power-hungry elitists in Washington are going to sell it off to the highest bidder. Senator Kennedy starts off with the kind of blunt honesty you never hear in D.C. anymore. He looks these so-called experts in the eye and says what every American with a brain is thinking. Yes, digital assets have potential. Yes, they're different. Yes, they could be the next evolution of the internet. But should we just let these unelected tech elites and financial globalists write their own rules, like we did with the first version of the internet? Hell no. You want to know what happens when you let Silicon Valley and DC bureaucrats play God with technology? You get censorship. You get deplatforming. You get shadow bans. You get liberal overlords deciding what truth is. You get big tech working hand in hand with big government to silence conservatives and spy on patriots. And now they want to do the same thing with our money. Kennedy nails it. Congress couldn't even agree on how to protect privacy online. They've done nothing to stop the abuse of power by tech monopolies. So how the hell are they going to regulate a trillion-dollar digital economy they don't even understand? Let me tell you, friends, they're not. And that's what makes this hearing so terrifying. Because these so-called experts, they know exactly what they're doing. They're begging Congress to hand the power over to unelected bureaucrats in the SEC and the CFTC, agencies filled with lifelong pencil pushers who don't answer to the people. That's not democracy. That's not capitalism. That's central planning by the back door.
Senator Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've listened with great interest today, and here's what I hear you saying. The four folks to my left, I hear you saying that digital assets are different. Digital assets hold great promise. Digital assets need special rules. I agree with that. The obvious question is, what should those rules be, and to what extent should we allow you to draft them? I've also heard some of you say that digital assets represent the next generation of the internet. Well, we let the current generation of the internet draft their own rules. And frankly, it looks like what we got as a result looks like somebody knocked over a urine sample. Congress can't even agree on basic legislation dealing with privacy on the internet. How the hell are we going to tackle this? But I hear what you're saying. I hear Mr. Painter, as usual, if you follow him on social media, you know, all politicians are crooks. Very helpful. I want to direct most of my questions to Professor Massad. Is that how you say your name?
Massad.
Mr. Massad. I'm really worried we're going to get this wrong. We don't know, we in Congress and our staffs don't know as much as the professionals in digital assets know. And I don't see how we can possibly catch up. Tell me more about your idea of having the SEC. Well, first, I don't want to run out of time here, but why is the digital assets industry so scared of being regulated by the SEC?
Well, I think we need to step back, Senator.
Briefly, please.
They don't want everything treated as a security because they don't want that entire framework to apply. But that's also because the SEC did fail to try to customize its rules to adapt for this technology, and it should do that. And you've got leadership at the agencies now who are working on those things.
You're suggesting that we turn to two of our agencies, one of which is the SEC, and say, you have expertise. Before we take a crack at a bill, you come up with a bill, with rules, with regulations. Tell us how to do this. Because I hear you saying in some cases digital assets are commodities. In some cases, they're securities.
Congress needs to fill the gap, which is if it's not a security, who's going to create a regulatory framework for it? So you do need to fill that. But these questions about exactly which is when is it a security, when is it not a security, how do we customize the rules, what should we do about DeFi, a lot of that should really be left to the agencies. You could establish some principles, but I wouldn't write detailed rules.
Have you looked, Professor, at Congressman Hill's legislation?
I have in detail.
What do you think?
I think it's got a lot of problems. I think it's 236 pages of regulatory arbitrage opportunities for creative lawyers, and I used to be one that did that kind of stuff.
Made a lot of money, did you?
I did, but...
Yeah. Mr. Painter, do you think Senator Gillibrand is a crook?
No, and I do not think all politicians are crooks. And
why did you call her a crook?
I did not call her a crook. Now, Senator, you need to focus on this bill.
Right,
you're doing this again. You did it the last hearing. You need to read the bill.
Role in stablecoin regulation, $217,000 in crypto donations. You tweeted that.
Yes, I do.
And then you said, the crypto industry is buying Congress and the White House. This won't end well. Why do you think the crypto industry is buying Senator Gillibrand?
I said, look at the campaign contributions from this industry.
You think they've bought her?
No, I said, look at the campaign contributions.
You said they bought her. Do you think they bought her?
Senator, you need to focus on this bill instead of trying to distort my Twitter.
Last time, one of my
you
colleagues
were quoting what a Marxist in Chicago said about
And what evidence do you have
no
that she's
sense.
a crook?
I said there is massive amount of campaign contributions coming into this Congress from the crypto industry.
Do you want to apologize to Senator Gillibrand?
I do not want you to have to apologize for passing legislation
do you want to
that
apologize
destroys
to
our
Senator
economy.
Gillibrand for calling
you are distorting
crook.
what I said, just like you did in the last hearing. You're wasting everybody's time, Senator.
You're a whack job.
Senator,
you are a
wasting.
Well, I think we are
next level whack job.
I think we are.
Is this middle school, Senator?
Senators and witness Thank you both.
I
for
think
your
you should
part-
apologize, Senator.
I think,
Gillibrand.
Senator, you're wasting our time. This is not middle school.
Thank you for your participation.
You listen to this professor, Massad, former Obama official, of course, and he says with a straight face that digital assets shouldn't all be regulated as securities. Why? Because the industry doesn't want that. Because the SEC failed to adapt. Oh, so now we're supposed to trust the same agency that let Wall Street rob us blind in 2008 to write new rules for crypto? Massad actually says that Congress should just let the agencies figure it out. Translation: sit down, shut up, and let the bureaucrats handle it. Are you kidding me? That's not how a constitutional republic works. God bless Senator Kennedy. The man's a warrior. He fires back, he digs in, and then he does something almost no Republican has the guts to do. He calls out the swamp by name. He turns to Richard Painter, former ethics lawyer, now a raging anti-Trump, anti-Patriot leftist shill, and calls out his disgusting tweets accusing Senator Gillibrand of being bought by crypto money. Painter's response? A pathetic word salad. I didn't say she's corrupt, I just said look at the donations. Spare me. You say a politician took $27,000 in crypto money, and then you say, this won't end well. That's a clear accusation, and it's cowardly to backpedal when you get called out on it. But here's the kicker. Painter's not mad that crypto money is influencing Washington. He's mad that it's not going his way. That's when the gloves come off. Kennedy, fed up with the dodging, the smug condescension, and the swamp theatrics, calls Painter what he is, a whack job. And immediately the pearl clutchers on the panel act like it's the end of democracy. Oh no. A senator said something mean. Meanwhile, these same people have no problem calling Trump supporters insurrectionists, racists, and domestic terrorists. But call out a liberal hack. That's suddenly too far? Give me a break. Here's what this whole hearing exposed, plain and simple. They don't want transparency. They don't want oversight. They don't want accountability. They want control. Control over your digital money. Control over your speech. Control over your data. Control over the platforms you use, the websites you visit, the things you can buy, the opinions you can hold. This is why crypto matters. Not because it's trendy. Not because you can get rich quick. But because it represents freedom from centralized control. And that scares the hell out of Washington. Senator Kennedy isn't perfect. But he did what every American patriot dreams of doing. He stood in front of the liars, the frauds, and the bureaucrats, and he told them the truth. He called out the corruption. He exposed the lies. He made the elitists squirm. And for that, we say, thank you, Senator Kennedy. Keep fighting. You're not alone. To all of you watching, this fight isn't over. It's just beginning. Do not trust the establishment to regulate your freedom. Do not trust unelected bureaucrats to save you. Do not sit back and let the swamp take control of your future. We the people built this nation on freedom. And we will not let it be sold to Silicon Valley or global bankers or Washington elitists. Stay loud. Stay strong. Stay free. This is Founding Voice America, and we will never be silenced. Like, share, subscribe, comment below. Do you trust Washington to regulate crypto? And hit the bell so you never miss the truth the mainstream media won't show you. God bless you. God bless Senator Kennedy. And God bless the United States of America.